You have the power to rescript your life. It was in the mid-'80s. I was 21 years old, pregnant with my third child, and living in a bedroom in the home of my in-laws. It was one of those days when my husband was at work and I was home watching the babies. It was a time when I felt like I was defeated, failed my life goals, and feeling like I was not going to amount to anything beyond being a college dropout, barefoot and pregnant, a baby-making machine. These were popular descriptions at the time. On this one particular day, I had put my baby girls down for their nap and picked up a copy of Parents Magazine, a subscription my sister-in-law shared with me. And I came across this interesting statement. Children of parents who complete college are more likely to attend and complete college themselves. I recall this as a pivotal moment in my life. After reading that statement, I looked at my daughters and I thought, I don't want us to be another statistic. If I wanted my daughters to have a better life, it had to start with me. I owed it to my daughters to go back to college and finish my degree. And I did. How did I do this? I began with the end in mind, envisioned the future I wanted, and re-scripted my life. Today, I have 3 college degrees, and my daughters have all graduated from college. On another occasion, I recall one clear afternoon in the early 2000s. I was at home, sitting in my usual corner in the living room, on my recliner, computer on my lap, and deep in my dissertation work. Then the front door burst open, and 3 seemingly upset teenagers trampled in, all glared at me. And one said, before they all stormed away, "You don't care about us anymore." I was taken aback. Oh no. I had become so absorbed in my work, lost track of time, and didn't get out of the house like I was supposed to pick them up from school. Although the school was in decent walking distance, but they preferred the ride home. At that moment, though, a thought occurred to me. If I died tomorrow, what would be more important? Completing this dissertation, or ensuring that my daughters knew that I loved them? I felt that I had neglected my duty as a mother, and the guilt and stress consumed me. If I died tomorrow, what legacy or lasting thought would I leave behind? I certainly did not want my daughters to question their priority in my life. They had to know, unquestionably, that I loved them with all my heart. I was gifted with the opportunity to rescript my life, and I did just that. I committed from that day forward that I would put first things first. I made it a point to schedule my breaks so that it was aligned with the time to pick up my daughters from school. This routine allowed us to talk about our experiences that day and connect at deeper levels. By making this adjustment to my schedule, I not only communicated to my daughters that my time with them takes precedence over other things, I was able to rid myself of the guilt and stress associated with the lack of prioritizing those things that matter to me the most. Taking the time to rescript my relationships with my daughters resulted in a relationship that I am so proud of. If I die tomorrow, my daughters will know without question that I love them, that I value them, and that they are important. In the spring of 2009, I was transitioning between the loss of 3 very close family members and the welcoming of my first grandbaby. I had just returned from an out-of-town academic conference accompanied by a chronic cough that lasted 3 weeks before I saw a doctor who prescribed a medication to cure the cough. At the time, I was teaching, and for the first time, I had to call in sick and cancel my classes. I spent the entire day in bed, physically weak, but trying all the while to convince myself that I was getting better only because of all the looming deadlines that I had to meet. One of my daughters was home on college break and was sitting with me. When she noticed I had red spots on my legs, on my arms, on my neck, and my ears were deep red, burning hot, and itchy. This worried me enough that I went in to see a doctor for the second time in 1 week. I was diagnosed with Stevens-Johnson syndrome, a life-threatening condition affecting the skin in which cell death causes the epidermis to separate from the dermis. This was caused by a fatal allergic reaction to the antibiotic I was prescribed. You've heard the saying, the cure is worse than the disease. I was taken off all medication so that my body could try to heal on its own. In that process, my body deteriorated over the days to follow. I remember one night, I was at the peak of my illness. My eyes barely able to open because of the damage to the mucous membrane. I was unable to talk because the inside of my mouth and my lips were raw and sore. I could barely stand, and when I did, it felt like I was stepping on sharp pins. I felt hopeless, wondering whether I would wake up if I went to bed that night. I'm happy to announce that I did wake up. I had life. So what do you do when you experience life like I did? You rescript your life. I remember thinking that I've been given an opportunity to do more. The image that came to mind at the time was standing on the stern, the back end of a boat, and looking down at that trail of water that is left behind as the boat moves forward. If you can imagine that the boat represents you cruising through your life, what is driving the boat? The answer could be the present moment's energy being generated by the engine and nothing more. This is what makes the boat move forward. It's our present moment thoughts that propel us to move forward and nothing more. Today, I am near the threshold of retirement. Before me is the opportunity to script my future. I am able to imagine the kind of life that I want to live and aspire toward that vision. I have the liberty to identify the values that I want to resonate with me. So right here, right now, is my present. I am excited to script this next phase of my life. And you have the power to rescript your life as well. And you ought to start now. Thank you.